Many animal species, including humans, live in complex, structured societies. In groups of all kinds, all-powerful leaders make the most life-impacting decisions on everyone's behalf. The position of head of the clan is highly coveted. It usually comes with wide-ranging privileges in terms of eating, sleeping, and reproducing. It is a universal fact throughout the whole animal kingdom: ambition and the struggle for power. Being a wolf is not easy. Wolves live in complex societies in which each individual must fight to achieve and maintain its position. It's a permanent and exhausting struggle. Status within the clan is earned by means of a lip-curling snarl, revealing powerful fangs, and a show of force over others. This may be no more than a phony war, but it keeps everyone in their place. Bloodless confrontations like these are usually enough to intimidate any opponent. So among wolves, tension is a daily constant. But it is the very sum of the character, strength, and ingenuity of each individual in the clan, with their incessant internal feuding, that is essential for all of them to survive. The sophistication and efficiency of wolf society has earned it the apex spot among Northern Hemisphere predators. This is how they can take down large prey such as wild boar and red deer. But once the prey has been caught, power disputes begin again. Wolves are extremely hierarchical animals. Each individual has its very specific rank, a fact that is never more clearly observed than when the pack eats. The leader, the most powerful of the pack, is always first to eat and gets to choose the best portions of meat. Maintaining such an efficient society requires great discipline and a very strict structure. This is a pyramidal society with one absolute monarch whose authority is rarely questioned, reigning at the top. But the alpha male must constantly fight and demonstrate his power, both to attain and maintain his throne. Rivals, be they young or old, are always on the alert for an opportunity. So leaders look for allies within the pack, making clear who's in charge through a range of admonishments that include growls, snarls, and on occasions, physical altercations that may end with blood being drawn. Sometimes the most antagonistic individual, probably not well liked within the clan, ends up feeling the business end of the whole group's powerful canines. But it's not only large carnivores that strive for superiority. Many herbivores also form societies led by an elite of leaders. They may be large animals with impressive horns, strong and imposing. And yet, despite these qualities, they are the habitual losers in this game, falling prey to the great hunters. The lives of bovids and antelopes is a constant struggle, a never-ending race to escape the clutches of death. But sometimes, just sometimes, things are different. African buffalo are related to Spanish fighting bulls, but unlike their northern cousins, prefer to be part of a team. Like bulls, they train and fight from when they are very young. The herd's future leaders will emerge from such adolescent scuffles. A herd of African or Cape buffalo is led by a small coterie of males, all well acquainted with each other. The highest-ranking adult males lead in a kind of council of elders. This is the best way to survive a life lived at the mercy of the king of the savannah. Because between lions and buffaloes, the rivalry is as ancient as it is incessant. Like the buffalo that are their prey, lions also live in well-structured hierarchical groups. The most complex lion prides are made up of females, commanded by the oldest and most experienced. With younger females and cubs under her, together they form a harmonious unit that lives together and hunts in unison. Male lions may fight to the death for their harems, but they hardly play any part in family life. The lionesses, despite being smaller than the males, are still formidably strong. Sometimes they will even put alpha males in their place. Lion and buffalo locked in an eternal conflict on the African plains. Two powerful societies forever engaged in their daily struggle. And often, the buffalo with their fearsome bands of brothers put the lions to flight. But the disputes of fighting bulls or buffaloes look like no more than playground antics when the nests of some birds of prey such as black kites and goshawk are studied. In the middle of the Mediterranean forests, widespread black kites make their homes. Pairs of parent kites bring food to their chicks from the moment they hatch. While the adults look for food and protect them from the cold or heat of spring, the chicks do everything they can to grow quickly. Recent hatchlings may look fragile and helpless, but from the very first moment they emerge from the safety of their shells, they take up a fierce, fratricidal fight that will last as long as they share a nest. The strongest, usually the first to hatch, have a much better chance of survival. Smaller chicks are weaker and find it hard to get any food, especially during lean seasons. But in this case, the younger hatchling fights hard for an equal chance, although its sibling still has the upper hand. Its parents favor the strongest to ensure that at least one of the brood survives. A very similar scenario is played out in the goshawk's nest. The parents spend the majority of their time hunting. The whole clutch will only survive if there is abundant food. If resources are scarce, only the largest and most aggressive will make it through these difficult early days. This particular incarnation of the concept of survival of the fittest, with sibling pitched against sibling, is known as canism, and the parent birds can do nothing about it. In some animal societies, however, the battle for dominance lasts literally a lifetime. From almost the moment you're born until the day you die. On hardened steppes, trodden down by multitudinous buffalo hooves and patrolled by patient lions, an extremely hierarchical group of primates lives. 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗀, or Cape baboons. These baboons form clans of dozens or even hundreds of individuals, all ruled over by one large male. They patrol their territory daily looking for food. The troop leads a mostly relaxed life, except for when the youngsters start to compete. At that time, scuffles and skirmishes abound, helping define each one's position in the hierarchy of the extended family. No one dares challenge the position of leader unless they are very sure of themselves. That said, under the umbrella of the overlord's supremacy, young males are in a constant state of confrontation with the aim of climbing the primate social ladder. The struggle for power among the baboons is very sophisticated and full of nuances. Very young, they engage in schoolyard scraps, shoving matches, putting each other's heads in the water, mini boxing bouts, and pretend pursuits. Young baboons play fighting sharpens skills and helps form their first vital alliances. These war games serve to test each other and establish relationships of dominance, and finally, prepare them in the fight to be boss. But to ascend so high up the scale, you need strong relationships with your allies. In baboon society, no one comes to power without the backing of a court of loyal followers. Sometimes, to achieve such lofty status, even in complex societies, bloody battles are not the answer. Among packs of spotted hyenas, it is the females who are in command. even if, at first glance, given their curious false penises, they may look like males. Spotted or laughing hyenas have evolved one of the most complex societies of all carnivores. In fact, they're similar in both size and structure to that of baboons. As with their primate neighbors to the south, leaders of spotted hyena clans establish dominance through a multifaceted network of family alliances. Contact between allies is essential. They constantly greet, touch, and smell each other. As a result, size and strength are not the keys to power here, but rather relationships and politics. The social rank of hyenas is directly linked to their ability to make friends. And conflicts within hyena society most commonly surface when it's time to distribute food. This is when leaders make their presence felt, although usually through no more than a few growls and a firm paw. All female spotted hyenas are dominant over all males of the species. Even the lowest ranked female is superior to the highest ranked male. A little further south, in South Africa, African wild dogs are led by a male and have a unique way of establishing group hierarchy. These cousins of wolves, they're also known as painted wolves, never lose their manners, even when fighting for the position of leader. African wild dogs neither fight nor growl. They do not attack or hurt each other. The top dog maintains his position through eye contact, gestures, and games. He even takes into account the opinion of the rest of the pack when organizing a hunt. Dog democracy in action. The most practical result of this form of government is that African wild dogs are among the best hunters in the world. Painted wolves hunting sorties are tremendously efficient, with an astounding strike rate of 80%. This success is due simply to the perfect coordination and synchrony of the hunting team. African wild dogs' excellent physical conditioning is matched only by their sublime social harmony. But these extraordinary canines are an exception in the animal world. The guanacos that live in Patagonia have also evolved to endure long-distance chases. These camelids, camels, are tough. They can withstand drought, strong winds, extremes of cold and heat, and on their robust legs can travel great distances. Whenever danger appears, they're ready to run away. But the heights of guanaco hierarchy among young males is also scaled, well, by running. In the breeding season, intimidating races are frequent among adults. Only the males that prevail will gain mating rights to females. And although both pretenders end up exhausted, the winner makes his rival turn tail and run. Struggles for power exist everywhere and can arise at any time. Being top dog is the access point to reproduction or to better food. In the Amazon region, the 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁 trees are in season. The huge red fruits are almost ripe, with their tasty seeds packed inside, ready to take flight on the slightest breeze. Everything appears calm, until a noisy parrot discovers a fruit about to open. In the flooded jungle of the Amazon, flocks of parrots, like marauding neighborhood gangs, settle their differences with pecks delivered from handily hooked bills. The overarching reason is food, with the details of the question always the same. Who's the most powerful? Who's the boss of this corner of the forest? And, by the way, who's going to eat first? 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗂 are small green parrots, yellow chevroned parakeets, in fact. They live in large flocks that search throughout the jungle foliage for seasonal fruit and seeds. The 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗂 is ripe, so the boisterous flock pounces on the coveted fruit. By means of warning pecks and aerial duels, the hierarchical order that determines who eats when is established. It's a tooth and nail, or rather beak and claw, encounter to get at the feathery insides of the fruit. But now, larger, stronger parrots arrive, imposing the law of physical superiority. The yellow chevron parakeets have no answer to their neighbors' tougher beaks and bigger bodies, and must retreat. Hierarchy is so often determined by physical strength in this way. But the benefit of so much fighting is that many 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗂 seeds are scattered and end up being dispersed through the air and forest in the most efficient way. Down below the hanging fruits of the 𝗥𝗲𝗹, on the banks of the Amazon River, tiny crocodiles are in the process of hatching. Even fearsome crocodiles endure a permanent struggle to survive and to prevail over their relatives. As soon as they emerge from their eggs, they head to the mighty river. While still on shore, they show their most ferocious side as soon as a sibling approaches. It's precisely this innate aggression in the face of any eventuality that may preserve, or at least prolong, their lives. A green anaconda approaches. It's not exactly coming bearing gifts for a baby shower. Much bigger than the baby crocodiles. The snake has every advantage in this unequal battle. But the little reptiles take the initiative. And the anaconda prefers to retreat in the face of a concerted croc attack. They may not be the best of brothers or sisters, but when up against a common enemy, they're all but invincible. Crocodiles can live in very close proximity to each other, sometimes even sharing a beach. But the most powerful specimen, the boss of the river, occupies the most desirable stretch and jealously guards his territory. Fights between crocodiles intensify during the mating season, when males compete for females, engaging in fights that can be quite ferocious. Not even the rain dampens the passions of the crocodiles in heat. And this same rain is the prologue to another fight. The storm soaks the jungle of Costa Rica and its inhabitants, including vultures. For a while, activity in the jungle seems to come to a halt. The downpour cools the spirits of the animals here, who bear the deluge with stoicism. But as soon as the storm clears, activity resumes. These black vultures have found a good helping of food. A dough is an excellent dish to satisfy pangs of hunger. But they face a couple of problems. On the one hand, they all want to eat at the same time, and so they end up fighting. On the other, black vultures' beaks are not strong enough to break through the skin of the dough. They may be able to see their meal, but they can't eat it. Their cousins, king vultures, arrive with the solution. These magnificent jungle vultures have beaks easily capable of carving through the carcass of the dough. The king vulture has a lot of class, clearly. But power implies status, and in this case, the king vulture, perhaps the most beautiful scavenger on the planet, imposes its own hierarchy through strength and size. The king vultures make it clear to their relatives that they must retreat and wait their turn. Then, of course, there's another hierarchy among the king vultures themselves. The oldest individuals hold higher rank and relegate younger birds to the background. The absolute monarch has many privileges of rank when it comes to enjoying a delicious meal, and also when mating. On the distant slopes of the Andes, surprising squabbles take place. In this colony of Andean ibis, status is measured by something as simple as geographical location within the colony. The higher the nest, the safer it is, reducing the dangers of the water drowning the chicks and also the perils that emerge from within the water itself. Ibis may be elegant, delicate even in appearance, but in fact, they spend a lot of time fighting. The successful defense of a privileged position, both geographical and hierarchical, implies a non-stop battle. Zealous neighbors try to seize the best nests, or at least part of them. But any nest's owners will not give up anything without a fight, and winged scuffles are ceaseless. The bellicose atmosphere seems to spread throughout the whole colony and invade the home itself. The ibis chicks fight among themselves, even more so when a parent arrives laden with food. Less a peaceful family meal, more a pitched battle to fill one's stomach. The most developed chicks prevail and get the best portions of the meal. Despite the animosity at each mealtime, it seems that serious injury is rare. The same cannot be said for other confrontations. A loser lies prostrate on the Pacific coast of Chile. A South American sea lion has lost his last fight, and in the process, his life. Exhaustion, rather than his rivals, has probably killed him. During the mating season, large male sea lions establish their little kingdoms on beaches among the rocks where they install their harems of females. To obtain such a prized territory, you have to fight off many rivals. This is when sea lions' rigid hierarchy comes into play. Massive males exert their dominance over weaker and younger males. A single large male may have a court of 15 females. But for all his power, he enjoys little in the way of peace or stability. For several weeks, he must guard the frontiers of his rocky terrain and prevent other males from taking over the harem. His position of superiority is always at stake, and so during this time, he barely rests and never eats. This places a tremendous strain on the strength and stamina of a great male sea lion. Younger individuals even band together to try their luck destabilizing the harems and overthrowing the leader. These intruders put the commanders of the coastline to the test. All interlopers must be expelled if your lineage is to be maintained. Their efforts may prove successful, but the oldest or weakest among the top males often pay the ultimate toll. And yet the chance to take the place of a powerful male is just the opportunity the younger, less battle-worn individuals have been waiting for. Throughout the animal kingdom, holding sway over others is a never-ending question of struggles, alliances, and wars. Leaders have access to the best locations, the most nutritious food, and the best chances for their offspring. But staying in power is easier said than done. All leaders are under threat from within or without the clan. It's both a great privilege and also a huge and potentially fatal responsibility to live your life in a permanent struggle for supremacy.